It was one of the craziest games in NBA Finals history. Plus, the Toronto Tempo make history, as well as Max Scherzer, and Dan is back in studio to absolutely boo everything about Mitch Marner. Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, Proline. Having split loyalties during the tournament makes things way more interesting. Now you can back all your teams with an exclusive split loyalty parlay bet for Proline. Download the new app today. I'm Lindsay Dunn alongside Cabbie, and Dan is back in studio. Welcome back.
Good morning, sir.
What's happening? What's happening?
Good to see you.
Split fan base. I don't have Italy to cheer for, so I'm all Canada in the World Cup. That's just what's happening.
Okay.
Sorry, Proline, but
okay.
I'm gonna forget about Italy.
Forget about it.
And we're all just red and white.
We're all red and white, but I'm still gonna have some split loyalties later on. Don't you worry about it. And I don't know. So yes, we will talk about the insanity that happened in Madison Square Gardens. There was a really weird moment that happened in the Tempo game. But I want to start off with the Blue Jays, because the highly anticipated return of Max Scherzer, who going into this moment and his injury was a little sketchy. So Dan,
yeah.
Is Max Scherzer in your circle of trust?
No, he is not. Anybody with an ERA over 10 cannot be in your circle of trust. Unless you're John Schneider. And John Schneider after the game is like, yeah, well, it's been a month or so since his last start, so we'll give it some time. We're not going to make any knee-jerk. He's got an ERA over 10, John. His ERA was over 5 last year. I know he gave them some good minutes in the postseason, innings in the postseason, and, is a valuable leader for the Blue Jays roster. All those things are true, and until Shane Bieber comes back, maybe you're able to give Max Scherzer another start. But I'm just not sure how much longer, especially with the anemic offense that the Blue Jays have, how much longer can you handle sending Max Scherzer out there for a start that he's probably going to lose?
Maybe one more start. I guess depending on the matchup. We have Boston's coming up, and then New York. Is that right?
New York's here this weekend.
No, New York's this weekend, and maybe Boston's after that. So maybe the Red Sox, because the Red Sox have lost 4 in a row, which is nice. Baltimore's lost 4 of 5. Mm-hmm. But then the Yankees have won 4 in a row, and the Tampa Bay Rays
remember how we just the Blue Jays have so many injuries. The Yankees don't have Aaron Judge, and they're still having no problem winning games.
Ben Rice.
Well, you know what? When your best players are out, you need other players to step up. So.
Yeah, they're turning great. So maybe one more start for Max. Although, even then, do you pull him after an inning, because bro is just turning out to be a liability? I mean, his line was, Philly wins 7-4. Yeah. Max 3 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 4K. So he does hit that milestone.
Yeah,
strikes out Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, 3,500.
The Alec Boehm home run was an interesting spot, because Pete Walker comes out to the mound, and it almost Shulman was talking about it on the broadcast. You think he's just looking for a breather. He looks like he's tired is what he's saying to Pete Walker. And then next thing you know, he gives up a 3-run homer. So look, he's going to be 42 next month. He's walking into the Hall of Fame. It's nice to have a living legend play for the Blue Jays, but with the way that the team has gone, where they're at in the standings, the way the offense is, it's hard to go out to any Max Scherzer start and feel like you have that much of a chance at winning with the way that he is currently pitching and the way that the Jays are currently hitting. And it's both sides of the sword, because, okay, you shouldn't go into a start and be like, if your starter gives up 4 or 5 earned runs, you're pretty much cooked. Because you know what? Your starter's going to give up 4 or 5 earned runs from time to time. Your offense has to be able to bail these guys out. You can't go into every start being like, if we give up 5 runs, we're losing today. And that's what it feels like for the Blue Jays right now. And that has to change before we can realistically look at this team as a World Series contender like we expected them to be coming into the season.
How much, and we see John Schneider is, tinkering with the lineup. Yeah. Vladdy's batting second today. Batted leadoff yesterday. George Springer returns to the lineup. Vladdy, and this is, you just have to kind of experiment in order to ignite parts of the offense, which you correctly assessed, Dan, is anemic. And I'm going to give you that, even though I'll still remain optimistic because there are only 3 games on 500. So it's and here's the thing, Dan. And you mentioned this weeks ago, and people who follow baseball know, like, the American League is kind of weakened this year.
Yeah.
So we might not need 90 wins to get into the playoffs. 85, 86, obviously.
But there's a lot of teams jumbled together. A lot, like, somebody's going to get hot. Are the Jays going to be that team?
That's true.
You know, a couple of teams are going to get hot and find their way to 85, 86, 87 wins.
Yeah.
And the Jays have got to be one of those teams. And, okay, you lose the series to the Phillies. Even over the weekend when they beat the Baltimore Orioles, it was nice. But the way that this season is right now, I'm not going to feel good about the Jays until Vladdy starts doing something. You know, it's nice to know that he's a $500 million player for a reason. He was incredible during the playoffs. But the Jays aren't going to get anywhere close to what we expected them to be until Vladdy Guerrero Jr. starts to hold up his end of the bargain. 3 home runs, ain't doing it. Vladdy Singles Jr. ain't doing it. This guy needs to pick up more of the offense for the Blue Jays because Brandon Valenzuela was supposed to be a defensive specialist catcher, and now he's the best power hitting player on the Blue Jays.
That's great for Brandon Venezuela.
At least by isolated power, a deep offensive metric. Of course, you've got Cosmo, who's hit some home runs. Yeah. Ernie Clement's probably been their most consistent hitter this season. I know it's not a great picture, but this is the reality for the Blue Jays. And I said the same thing last year. Until Vladdy gets going, you're not going to see what this team can be at its absolute ceiling. And they didn't need him to get going until the playoffs, and thankfully he did. But that's what we all got on the bandwagon for, was Vladdy being the ultimate leader of this offense. And until that happens, they're just not going to reach their ceiling as a team.
I have a very random thing to tell you about Big Oak, Cosmo Okamoto. Because the other day in the chat, we were talking about how his walk-up song was changed to Ella Langley's Texas, which is like a #1 song on Billboard. And I was kind of told it was a mistake that happened. Well, it turns out it's not. And this is so intricate. And yesterday I tried to talk to him about it. He just didn't want to talk on camera about it. So on like odd days, he'll play his traditional walk-up song. And the other days, Miles Straw has been picking his song because the other day it was Iris by Goo Goo Dolls, which is what a group they call like the Breakfast Club. It used to be Clement, Schneider, and Straw. They would do BP so early compared to everybody else, and they just have Goo Goo Dolls playing on repeat. So when you hear him walk out, and it's not just traditional walk-up song right now, it's Miles Straw behind it. So very random. This is me trying to distract Dan from everything bad that's happening because we haven't spoke about George Springer to you.
Well, the less said, the better.
He's in a tough spot. I don't think I think he had Springer had a single or something, didn't he? Or he had a walk in Vladdy's meager defense. So Vladdy batting second last night or yesterday.
A single and a walk. Great.
Bottom first. Okay, single. Bottom third, walk. Okay, so
an
still
RBI
1 for
walk.
1. Hold on. Bottom 6. Okay, grounds out to Trey Turner at shortstop, so 1 for 2. And then bottom of the 7th, that's your bases loaded walk. So I mean, so he gets on base 3 times.
What happened in the 9th inning?
He had bases loaded walk. I'll take it.
Okay, in the 9th inning, let me just go to my notes again. Okay, so Johan Duran's on. Okay, George Springer singles.
Yes,
and then Vladimir. Okay, he grounds into a double play. Okay, so he had 5 at bats and we got on base 3 times. So and then Ernie Clement singles, and then Cosmo Okamoto strikes out to end the game, and Phillies win 7-4. Okay, so the 9th inning wasn't that. Yeah. Okay, again, it was a meager defense of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But yeah, Springer is. I guess he said the less we say, the better. For George.
Look, none of these things can't be fixed for the Blue Jays. It's just until
like
you get
instantly, or like over the course of the next 100 games.
I'm not saying none of it matters unless Vladdy comes out of this prolonged slump that he's been in. But none of it matters unless Vladdy comes out of this prolonged slump that he's been in. There's nobody on this team that can do the heavy lifting, that has the talent to do the heavy lifting that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. can do for this offense. It's just not a good enough offense. And until that changes, it's very hard to believe in the Blue Jays being anything other than a team that can maybe squeak into a wild card spot.
Oh, man. So they're off today. They're hosting the Yankees this weekend. I know an Aaron Judge-less Yankees, but
still good Yankees.
Still got Belly, still got Ben Rice.
It's like, so my worryometer, it's like 2. So it's like it's moved a little bit. I'm like, Dan's at like 1,000 out of 10. Like the needle's broken off. He's like, okay, we're done with this, but it will be an interesting series.
It's not anything that they can't fix. Maybe they should start with maybe moving on from Max Scherzer starts. I think you're right.
Opener.
Like maybe one more Scherzer start. Bieber's getting one more start with the Bisons. He should get up to 75 pitches in his next rehab start. Does he graduate to the majors after that? Somebody's going to lose their rotation spot when Bieber comes up, presumably. So we'll see what happens.
Man, I'm a little nervous. One thing I was also surprised about yesterday that has nothing to do with the game, it was a giveaway game. So yesterday, if anybody was watching or listening, I beat Zach in the great trivia that Cabbie provided.
ABS, another baseball segment. It's the name of the trivia game.
Who got the pack of Don Russ cards?
I won this Jose Bautista amazing bobblehead, which I've donated to our show and our set. So thank you, Cabbie.
It was the worst trivia that's ever taken place on camera, microphones,
it's true.
Whatever.
I won though.
You guys, it wasn't your best.
2-1. Wow, sounds like a Blue Jays win.
Yeah, it's because I straight up was trying to cheat, and I was looking at the chat and wasn't listening to Cabbie's great questions, so I was just waiting for names. I'm like, chat, love you, but you didn't really help me out. But
I was listening to Cabbie's questions, and I just couldn't get the answer. So.
I'm sorry. I mean, Zach, you're like 22 years old, and a lot of the trivia was from like the 90s, so you have an excuse.
Zach probably doesn't even know who the Goo Goo Dolls are.
No.
So
I know the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay.
I was like,
I do not know the Goo Goo
He's from
Dolls.
Aurora, so that makes sense.
You don't know the Goo Goo Dolls?
Sorry, I've heard of the Goo Goo Dolls. I just don't know the catalog.
I think two songs you'll definitely know because they were so overly played in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was like every movie soundtrack, and then it was in so many TV shows, but we'll play it after because we're going to get a copyright strike. But Dylan Cease had a bobblehead giveaway yesterday, which when I went to the game, like there was barely any lineups. I was surprised by that because we've seen this year the crazy stories of people. The
Clement jersey, the Halliday jersey,
the dual Bautista
and Encarnacion,
and then the Vladdy Jr. as a kid giveaway.
T-shirt,
like some of the lines were maybe 10 people deep. That I thought, I'm like, oh, maybe these people are just here early to get to BP. So like, are fans maybe not appreciating Dylan Cease that much?
Oh no.
Or like, I didn't understand it because I thought the lineup would be insane because he's just been fantastic.
Yeah, that's
baffling to me.
Yeah, I mean, what was it yesterday? It was 11 Ks, right? And he was using the changeup as a weapon. I don't know. Maybe it's just a scheduling thing. It's like Wednesday's kind of like. Oh no, today's Wednesday. No, yesterday was something like Wednesday's a getaway day. Although we're here, usually a getaway day. I don't know. Yeah, that's.
I honestly have no idea, but it
Dylan Cease is going to the All-Star game, and I think that'll probably be like the point where the fans jump on.
Ernie, Louie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I saw a list the other day.
If MLB and
like,
them don't put in or select Varland and Cease, I probably will flip this table.
Was it Ben Verlander's list? Because I think he published his on Twitter.
Yeah, it was like best 10 relief pitchers in baseball, and there was no Louis Varland.
Oh no,
really?
I saw. Yeah,
and I'm just like,
Louis Varland's agent went off on social media, rightfully so.
Oh, okay.
Is this a list of the best relievers in baseball? Not in Canada, like
the disrespect was
or
like
only in America.
I gotta find that.
Or
list.
not doing your research. I honestly thought it was a rage bait tweet,
probably,
and that's why I was like, I'm not going to engage with this because this
Blue
is
Jays
actually
fans on
stupid.
Twitter are pretty wild. So I can definitely see it being rage bait for the Blue Jays nation to jump on.
It was crazy. When we talk about unique fan bases, though, the Knicks. Your fans, for the most part,
I'll find that tweet.
You
later.
suck. But there is a clip that happened after
Wouldn't you want to be a Knicks fan right now, though?
But the thing is, I think, I was cheering for them. I was excited for this group. And then when I see the stupid shenanigans that are happening around like the entire city, it makes me mad. And I understand it's not just a Knicks fan base problem, but like some of them are just jerks. They egged Wemby yesterday. So what I got out of that, it was a great throw by the person that the Mets need to sign whoever threw that egg and hit Wemby. Because like if you watch this, and I know making slight like light of this.
Oh,
and then
the
Wemby
boys,
is
the
walking
Boys in the Hood
in.
music. Oh, okay.
And then I know you can't really see, but they threw it, and there's
guys
flipping him off.
Right at the beginning of the clip.
They throw
That's
two,
so
they miss, and then
disrespectful.
hit him. And it's like, first of all, I hope like you have inspired him to absolutely destroy
pretty
your
good
team.
aim.
That's why like the Mets need to get him because their team not doing so great.
You might be invoking the basketball gods, though.
Yeah,
like
and- which I was hoping happened last time.
If Wemby goes supernova now after getting egged by a Knicks fan,
You know what?
they are going to forever regret that.
Adam in the office said this is a good time to sprinkle on like light sprinkles, like because he's betting's for entertainment purposes only. But this is the time when the Knicks are, or excuse me, when the Spurs are down 3-1. It would be so New York to lose a 3-1 series in the finals.
Who thought the Cavs were going to come back from 3-1 against Golden State that year?
Yeah,
Who thought the Knicks were going to come back after being down 29
not a
points?
single person, Lindsay.
Like-
Not even the New York Knicks.
No, their fan base were checked out. Pretty sure a lot of them like were already fighting each other outside in the streets because their team was going to lose
Taylor
so
Swift was
bad.
asking like, "Hey guys, should we just get out of here at halftime?" But then the Wu-Tang Clan performed at halftime and
Inspired
saged Madison Square Garden. And then at the end of the performance, Method Man was like, "Knicks in 5." Bro, Knicks in 5 is still alive because this was... We got to the office, we were buzzing. Dan and I immediately just started spitting stats at each other and recalling plays. And then we're talking about, there's a De'Aaron Fox compilation of all his miscues from last night.
And
Somebody
Josh
made a
Hart.
sizzle reel of De'Aaron Fox screw-ups at the end of the game. It's like the three-pointer he took with just under 3 minutes to play
Yeah.
when he lost the handle and had to go back and get the ball, and then there's nothing left on the shot clock, so he just pulls up for a three, brick. And then the biggest one,
Hold on to the ball.
the biggest malfunction he had, maybe one of the worst decisions in sports history. He gets a rebound with about 15 seconds to go. He's running it down the court, goes for a layup. OG catches him, stops him from scoring the basket, but shot clock's dead, man. Like you're up one. All you got to do is hold the ball. Maybe they foul you, but all you got to do is hold the ball.
It's on the consideration for like bonehead play of the year. I mean, OG
Of ever.
and let's give our flowers to OG Anunoby. I know we're in Toronto, but we love OG Anunoby.
We love
and
OG. It's the only reason that I tolerate the Knicks. And
Same.
it's just, let's actually play this moment to
And
set it up
let's-
for people because when this moment where he goes down, we talk about the De'Aaron Fox moment, then you Brunson missing a shot and OG from like the heavens tips the ball in to give the Knicks a 1-point lead with seconds left on the clock. You watch this, Brunson puts it up, he misses it,
a
and look
31
at
footer too.
an
and then-
angel with 1.2 seconds left. MSG losing their mind. 1.2 seconds left. That is the most reaction we've seen from OG in a decade. No one can believe what's going on. They show like Celebrity Road, whether it be Jerry Seinfeld and them, Adam Sandler, just not sure what is going on.
Larry David was there. There's Taylor
There-
and her crew jumping around. There's Marcus Camby, Larry Johnson,
Great
Latrell
former
Sprewell.
rapper, Marcus Camby.
Yeah. It's like, how did we get to this point? I can't believe that they won. Nobody can believe that they won. And the fact that we love that it's OG. And here's what he had to say about that moment.
You just hit the game-winning shot in an NBA Finals game in front of your home crowd. How does that feel?
It feels cool. I mean, everyone's pretty excited. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. We're all excited. We're enjoying it right now, but we're just focused on the next game now.
It's just like, people are so surprised by his lack of reaction, which was like the whole
Yes.
reaction online of like a kid when they win like the lottery or something at school. And it was just like OG straight.
He might be the
face.
most stoic human ever.
I feel like Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment is to blame. Like MLSE got their hands on him with some media training early in his career, and he's just never changed.
Maybe.
Because there's a funny guy in there, but
Yeah,
they just
He was also just around Kawhi. He was the exact same.
A couple of
Yeah,
robots.
he's been, that did not
well,
help
as,
because Kawhi was there for his rookie year, and I've brought this up so many times that I'll never forget his first introductory press conference when we
Kawhi's or OG's?
OG, because we thought he was an alien because he just like would give you one word answers and like had no emotion.
I'm
and then
a fun guy.
Yeah, and then Kawhi comes in a couple years later. I'm like, this is the worst for media quotes right now. Please help us. But
Yeah, OG speaking to Lisa Salter after the game was just like, it was 4-word answers, and then I think in that
She
that
tried.
reaction where that we saw on the court after his tip-in was like, like, I don't know, maybe if the reaction in the bubble, he hits that buzzer beater where Kyle jumps on him like to beat Boston. If that reaction is a 1 out of 10, then the reaction from the tip in win game is like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like it just cranked it up like one point. But it was just OG Anunoby's pose was like the Statue of Liberty. If they give him a statue in New York, it will be a version of the Statue of Liberty because it was incredible. Like, so 29 points. So it's the greatest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals. And San Antonio, this is where the lack of experience, I think, comes in. And I blame Mitch Johnson. You're a 39-year-old head coach. Call a timeout, bro. Get your guys calm them down, and run a play. Call a play for the love of God. It can't just be Wemby shooting step back threes, even though the guy, his release point is probably 10 feet high because he's 7'4", and then his arms he's got a 7'5" wingspan. Like that's how your offense has to move. You have to get into some action. We know that Wemby likes to operate above the arc, but you guys got to do something. And then a credit to them. And I got to show some love to Jose Alvarado. In the fourth quarter. So he's playing. So Mike Brown, smart, is like, all right, I'm gonna play my 2 guards. This guy had 8 points and 3 assists in the fourth quarter, including finding OG a couple of times who had some key three-point shots. Karl Anthony Towns was okay. I think he had 13 and 10. Zach, we won our pick last. I think we both did, right? I had the double-double. And what did you have yesterday? Do you remember?
Oh, I have Jordan Staal, Conn Smythe.
Oh, okay, see in the future. Okay, well, that one's still
I was like, what did I bet yesterday? Yeah,
It's not that.
It's a good one.
But Lindsay mentioned this before we started the show that so the Spurs set an NBA record 76 points in the first half. Yeah. They go absolutely frigid cold in the second half. 30 points in the second half. Like, what? And do you remember now this is also going to be a meme where Victor Wembanyama's pointing in his head. It's we're in your heads.
Yeah.
And when they're up 29, and then boom, fast forward to the end. That guy, we need to check on his mentals, or he needs to just fly the monks in from whatever Shenzhou province or whatever in China. Have the monks stay with you, bro, to get your mind right, because this could be legacy. I mean, the kid's only 22, so I shouldn't say he's legacy defining. But this will be a tough one to overcome. Like giving up a historic collapse in the NBA Finals, 29 points.
You're going back home now, and that's the thing is you gave up that historic lead of 29 points, where Chuck, Charles Barkley, the legend, saying like the dumbest thing that has ever happened in basketball and I think sports, ripping them a new one, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. You have to come back to at least win the next game, but Jalen Brunson. Well, we talk about OG Anunoby, the potential statue he could get. Brunson should be celebrated by Knicks fans for years to come for his performance, not only in this game, but what he's done all playoffs. Like, that was electric.
These guys are going to be Knicks legends forever.
Yeah.
Especially Brunson, who took while everybody else is going out and getting their Supermax contracts, Brunson took that super team-friendly, still over $150 million total value, but in NBA standards,
that's what
team-friendly
you
deal.
took for the show, correct?
100%, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Something maybe Mitch Marner or one of the Maple Leafs core four could have done to maybe help them build a stronger team. But Jalen Brunson took the team-friendly deal to make it work for the Knicks, and that's why they've been able to build this absolute juggernaut. And to boot, he's been unbelievable in this final. I was making notes last night while watching the game, and it was still like kind of out of hand. And it seemed like every time I looked up, he had kind of a bad turnover, and then I looked at his stat line, and like, oh, he's fine. Yeah, he's been doing well. Yeah. And then he just took over the game in the third and fourth quarter.
Man, that he hits that three over Wemby. I mean, Steph Curry sort of wrote the blueprint of like how to score on this guy in the Paris games. And Brunson just in the fourth quarter, you just know this guy's going to score from anywhere and any way. He loves that floater because he's a lefty, and he loves that elbow jumper or step back three. Like this guy's just unreal. There's a couple funny tweets that I saw on Twitter last night. This come from InsideHoops.com. Whatever the Spurs said to each other at halftime, they should never say that again. And then after the game, this is from Josh Dubow from the Associated Press. Teams down 20-plus points in the postseason in the last 2 years. Knicks are 5-3. The rest of the NBA 4-71. Like unbelievable.
Ooh,
and then this is they were down 22 points to the Cavs in the fourth quarter, like 8 games ago. or 6 games ago. And here they are digging themselves out of a 29-point hole. Like, this team is inevitable. The New York Knicks are friggin' Thanos. And we've been using comic book references for like Gotham City, Spider-Man, Batman, obviously. And these guys are, I don't know. It feels inevitable. This team is built to win now. They are winning now by any means necessary.
Spurs fans will never forget De'Aaron Fox, though.
Or how just terrible that game was.
Yeah.
Bro, he's entering his 4-year extension like this upcoming season.
They will never forget De'Aaron Fox.
I think that Josh Hart will also never forget and never stop thanking OG Anunoby from helping him having like a lifetime of misery and embarrassment after also missing that shot, because OG, like with that wings, there was moments before where Josh Hart had a couple moments in the game where he felt like he lost it, and I'm pretty sure in his post game he's like, thank you so much, OG. You saved me from a lifetime of embarrassment. We'll continue to cover the series, and then we definitely need to get Dan's takes on some things that have happened in the NHL. We have Leafs news, but I just want to bring a moment that happened yesterday in the Toronto Tempo game.
Okay.
So yesterday, for the first time in franchise history, they go to overtime.
Okay.
And they were down heavily to the Sun. They took on the Connecticut Sun yesterday in the first half. And then like they start to come back. They're within a couple. Then they trail down. They come back. They're almost there. Then it goes down. And then eventually they get there. Brittany Slim Sykes, the momentum changer throughout this game, who tied a season and career high of 38 points.
Last night?
Yes. And went 13
hooping.
of 13 from the free throw line. So perfect from her free throw shots. But I can't tell you a time I experienced what happened yesterday. And she also had never experienced this. So I asked her after. When she went to shoot her free throws in OT, you could hear the people breathing around you. It was that quiet. Nobody moved. Nobody was talking. And so here's what she had to say. Those clutch free throws where you could hear a pin drop. Can you talk about that moment for you, your mentality in that?
I mean, honestly, I hope the fans hear this. Never that quiet. I was like, I'm like, self-talk always, at the free throw, and I believe in the work that I've done, right? But the pin drop silence, I was like, damn. This is because then I miss, it's like clunk, and like you're gonna hear it all around. So fans, hey, you guys can say a little bit, just something.
It was crazy. Like her reaction was like, I never thought of that moment, like that she actually was so dialed in, but could tell like, oh, it got really quiet. And imagine if she would have missed. Like it was that quiet.
Oh,
yeah, 100%. And then she had to do another one. But
great! It's so quiet in here. All I can hear is the voices in my head. This is lovely.
It's the opposite of Victor Wembanyama, who missed 2 free throws down the stretch.
We forgot to bring that up.
And he did the big deep breath before the second one too, and I was like, no, he's missing. 100%. Where can I find the bet on this? He's about to miss this free throw.
Bro, they were plus 2200, so 22-1 odds at halftime that the Knicks would overcome that 29-point deficit, or at halftime it was 27 points maybe, but to win the game. And I was looking at it, I was like, there's no way. Like, lights sprinkle, should have lights. I regret it now, but just absolute theater.
Easy to say now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Maybe Taylor had a little something on it, because like I think wasn't there a moment earlier in the playoffs where Travis Kelce's like, I won my bet, and she's like, how much did you win? And I think he like whispers it to her, so maybe she got in on some action too, and she's like, oh, I won $500,000 or whatever it is.
You know what? I wonder if she's ever cooked with David Beckham, but maybe he's cooked for her, because guess what? This segment is a presentation of the Ninja Flex Flame.
Ninja Flex Flame gives you 5 ways to cook. High heat grilling, low and slow smoking, crispier roasting, flat top griddling, artisan pizza making, and David Beckham cooks for you.
I did not agree to that.
Ninja Flex Flame.
Meet the Ninja Flex Flame precision temperature control wood fire smoke and cyclonic air for grilling, smoking, roasting, pizza, and griddling all under one hood. Grill pizza and everything in between. The Ninja Outdoor Grill and Artisan Pizza Maker are built for summer. Upgrade outside with Ninja. I would love to go to that dinner party if he is cooking for Taylor Swift. And then we could bring our coworker, Nick Caroli, who is really a huge fan of seeing her celebrate on the sidelines. Inside joke, he was not happy. Some people get so mad for the amount that she is shown on TV, but hey.
Definitely during football games. That was like a thing. Like how many times NBC going to show her on the broadcast when she was first dating Travis Kelce? Now we're just kind of used to
and then
seeing
they're
her.
like Tay. I'm like, please stop.
Her pop up, and wasn't there like she had a Blake? What's Ryan Reynolds?
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Yeah, less so. I guess we're used to seeing Taylor. Maybe not at basketball games, but certainly like Chiefs games.
Show me Larry David. The guy was having the most like expressive reactions because when Josh Hart missed the one shot within like the final minute, he was like, and then when OG did the
face.
thank you very much.
I will say, like,
pretty good.
Anybody chirping?
So this tweet, sorry Dan, this tweet was so good. I saw this on. The Spurs know how to take the lead. They just don't know how to hold the lead. That's really the most important part of the lead, the holding. And it's
I like
Seinfeld
this.
and Larry David.
Excellent.
That's pretty good. The whole Taylor Swift thing, everybody's like chirping. They're like, look at Taylor Swift, and it's like, you know what? If the Leafs were up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Final and they had like an incredible comeback to win that game 4, you'd be jumping around and doing the
Caroli
dumbest
would be
shit ever.
tarps off, running up and down Young Street.
It would be a
real.
tarps off moment.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get mad at Justin Bieber because that's Taylor's equivalent. I suppose it's like a pop star. Jumping around, and he's a legit Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I don't know if Taylor's bona fides have been called into question whether or not she's a real Knicks fan, but Bieber's a real Leafs fan. So we look forward to that moment at some point in. Zach, when are we getting that 3-1 moment?
Zach can attest. If
we had our 3-1 moment.
Yeah, we did.
Gosh,
but it was in the second round. You know,
it wasn't the finals.
Or the Leafs almost went up 3-0.
I was referring
to
to losing the Habs.
Let's not talk about the Habs ever.
I will say though, like if
we also had a 4-1 moment too. Yeah.
Even if the Leafs went to a conference final at this point, people would be celebrating like Knicks fans are celebrating being up 3-1 in the NBA Finals. So
there would be tarps off on Yonge Street, up and down, all the way from the Lakeshore to Finch. If the Leafs advance, and they will at some point advance to the conference final. We don't know how old we'll be.
Just think about how like fondly Keith Pelly looks back on the 2004 conference final appearance that the Leafs had.
I missed that reference. Did he reference it in the press conference?
He referenced it in the press conference with Matt Sundin and held Matt's hand at the same time.
Yeah, it was a weird moment. It was a weird moment.
Yeah. Would it be weird if you saw Bruce Cassidy as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh.
Because Jonas Siegel reporting that Cassidy is open to potentially coaching the Toronto Maple Leafs. We all know that the Vegas Golden Knights have him by the BALLS, and they're not allowing him to speak to any other team. So potentially maybe in the Eastern Conference but he's open to it. So how would you feel?
I think it's probably one of the best outcomes for the Maple Leafs if you're thinking about quick turnarounds. Bruce Cassidy's been one of the best coaches in the National Hockey League for the last number of years. And I look at the landscape of the entire NHL. And I know like it feels the Leafs are miles away from being anywhere close to Stanley Cup contender. But just look at the playoffs this year. Look at the entirety of the season. Even though a lot of teams in the East had a ton of points, what we found out in the playoffs is, you know, the difference between the best team in the East, which was the Carolina Hurricanes, and everybody else, there was a pretty big gap there.
That's right.
The point I'm trying to make is the parity in the NHL is as strong as it's ever been. There isn't a ton of separation team to team. The Leafs can make a big jump by getting the right coach in and a couple of smart moves this summer that can help them get closer to even a top 3 spot in the Atlantic. I don't think is that crazy of an idea, even going into next year with a couple of smart, shrewd moves.
I will say though, Florida's going to be back next year, bro.
They will be back, especially if they get Dylan Larkin.
Oh, well, they have so much center depth though.
Well, I mean, it'd probably take Anton Lundell, maybe their 9th overall pick, to get Dylan Larkin over to Florida. But it's very NHL that like all these guys who are like, oh, I don't want I just want to go somewhere and be the 7th best player on a team. I don't want to be
what?
the star on a team. I want to be the Mitch Marner did this.
I mean, come on, bro.
But Dylan
You
Larkin's
should have
kind of
done
doing
an
the same
over-under
thing.
of how many times he brings up Mitch Marner without it kind of being brought up. So we're at 3. I like this.
We're at 3.
NHL, it's the one sport where they're like, we want to get paid the most money, and I don't want to have anything to do with anything that actually brings in the money for this for me
What are
and
you
this.
talking about, Zach?
I just want to play
Why do
hockey.
they
I don't want to
all
have to deal with anything
disappear
else.
to anywhere where it's like, oh, they only have 2 media members down there? Oh, I love it.
Like the Dallases and the
Yeah.
Nashvilles and the Florida. Well, so Florida's for Tampa Bay and the Panthers. So
Yeah.
You're right. It's like two people covering the team daily.
Dylan Larkin's like, I want to trade, but I only want to go to Vegas or Florida or
Minnesota.
Minnesota, where my best friend plays.
But,
It's a
bro,
long list. It's like I don't know if you want to request a trade, you should have to give up your trade protection. I feel like
so?
that should be.
isn't that what happens? Because
No.
you
You
give them a short list of like, okay, I'll go to these. Well, as it was
give up
reported
your
by
trade
Eileen St.
protection.
James.
Well, they can't trade you
Or
to
St.
any
Louis.
team in the league. They can only trade you to the 3 teams that
Still forcing their
you're
hand.
willing to accept.
Yeah.
So it obviously,
who wants to go play for St. Louis though? I mean, right now.
No.
my point
Not even
is,
Jordan Cairo or Biddington. Like, guys,
can
get
meet
me
John
out. Robert
Hamm.
Thomas, get me out of here.
But to bring it back
boy.
to the Leafs, the whole Bruce Cassidy thing is intriguing. I think he's willing to work anywhere. He's made that pretty clear the whole time. Vegas has had him by, what did you say Vegas had him by?
You spelled the word.
The BALLS, yes. So Vegas still has him by that. They're clearly not going to let him go to Edmonton. Would they let him go to the Leafs? I'm not sure. But of the coaching candidates out there, this seems like a good option for the Maple Leafs. I don't know why they cast such a wide net of interviewing 55 people.
You don't like that?
It seems like you don't know what you want. It's kind of the way I look at it.
Isn't it kind of? Go ahead, Zach.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
me too.
Dan.
I'm with you.
I didn't mind it because I think that right now where they are is a very unique place where you kind of just point out like how far away they are and how far away all the teams in the East were from Carolina. The Leafs are at the bottom of that pile. And then you're in a weird spot where you're going to have to make a decision on Matthews and Nylander and these guys in the coming years while you're also bringing in a guy like Gavin McKenna right now, and then you're bringing in talent like Easton Cowan. So you're kind of trying to blend what you have in the middle of a transition. I personally didn't mind the idea of going out and just seeing like what can you bring to the table? What do you think about the group that we have? What do you think about the direction? Even if it's just a 10-minute chat, if it's an hour and a half chat, if you never see the guy again for the rest of your life, I kind of like the idea because I think it's an
You're
information.
stealing people's ideas.
Yeah, it's
Information
honestly, yes.
gathering.
Honestly, yes. You're right though. Like I think it's like information gathering. Like okay, I talked to Cabbie and Cabbie told me that he thinks that this team needs to play a more positionless hockey style of play. I talked to Dan, and Dan thinks that we need to play a more up-tempo play. Lindsay thinks we need to change this defensively. I'm like, okay, now all of a sudden I'm learning all these different pieces, and then I find a guy who's like, I think we need to do this, this, and this, and it checked all 3 of those boxes. I'm like, you're the guy. Like you're gonna do it all.
I like this process from John Chayka. Like, take your time. You have to get this right. There's so much. This is his redemption tour. He was. I don't know, blacklisted is the right word, but he was shunned by the league because of decisions and conduct that he made in his Arizona tenure. And now he's like, okay, now I'm the general manager for the biggest club in the sport, biggest and most important club in the sport. And I can't bleep this up. We have as Jeff Merrick said yesterday, we don't have a generational talent coming. We have a special player who's coming in Gavin McKenna. And it's the Toronto market, so I can't get this wrong. So I'm with you, Zach. I like this process of casting a wide net.
I will say the thing I like most about John Chayka and how he's handled this whole thing, he's clearly got everybody guessing.
Yeah.
And he's run a tight ship to this point, right? We didn't know that Chayka was going to be the guy, and then he finally emerged. But everything that's happened since, who he's hiring as part of his front office, how he's handling those things. Everybody's like, oh, he wants an experienced head coach. And then Joe Pavelski's name comes up. So clearly he's kind of runs to his own beat. And I think that's a good thing for the Leafs right now to keep things a little bit quieter. I don't want to say Brad Treliving had a little too many friends in the media, but he had a few too many friends in the media at times.
I would have been his friend if he gave me Boston pizza. Like, how did we still end up with pizza? But Dan, you weren't here.
Pierogi pizza is not pizza.
Oh
Sorry.
my gosh.
That's available at Boston Pizza?
Honestly,
Oh,
it's so good.
delicious.
It's their
It is?
It's delicious.
It's their signature
See, it
pizza.
slaps. It's so good.
I like it.
Really?
You were not here yesterday in the last couple of days, so you weren't here for the Babcock news, which still brings it back to the Leafs. So I can't believe it either, and I don't want to disrespect somebody that grew up in Saskatoon because I will appreciate anything tied to Saskatchewan.
But
which
Mike
includes,
Babcock's a jerk.
He is
He's an
absolute, wanker, and I know that's also a very offensive term to some people. But
I like that you're getting into the World Cup spirit.
oh yeah, I'm ready for it. It's like I've been doing
Sound like a
BBC hits.
Brit support. Yeah, you sound like a supporter of picking up their parlance. Parlance.
Yeah. Oh, he did a gesture, and you guys couldn't see it.
Good
but-
thing that Zach wasn't on camera for that.
Oh, that's why I'm like, it's funny because Alex McKechnie, who's like a guru when it comes to helping players
So,
heal.
Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, he's like their head of
director of
sports.
sports science.
I
Silver
said that
Fox.
once. He's like, never say that again. And I truly didn't know what it meant. And then he's like, I'm not explaining it to you. Please use your phone. And I looked at my face, went bright red. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm very thankful he didn't explain to me what it truly meant. But I wanted to ask you and Jeff this yesterday. So I'm going to ask you guys this. Zach, you can chime in as well. So for Babcock even being considered, is it dysfunction or desperation? Because they haven't been able to find someone to kind of bring this group together because they've had the talent, or it's like they're just so desperate, give us something.
It's desperation.
Yeah.
You are looking at one of their criteria is clearly, as it's been reported out of Edmonton, they want a Stanley Cup winner. So when you start going down the list of available guys that aren't retired or passed on, you kind of run out of names quick. So you've got Craig Berube, Peter Laviolette, who just signed with the LA Kings as their head coach, Bruce Cassidy, who's probably their top choice but not being allowed to go there. And it's like, okay, well, should we explore the Babcock thing? And clearly they've gone down that road. Obviously, they've cleared it with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And I think those guys are at the point where, like, we're willing to try anything. And Babcock, nobody's going to critique Babcock's X's and O's, although the game has changed since he last head coached for the Toronto Maple Leafs in, 2019?
Yeah.
So we're 7 years on from the last time he coached a game. And we're still talking, or people are still looking at this guy as a winner. I mean, he won a Stanley Cup in 2008. That's nearly 20 years ago. He hasn't won a playoff series since 2013. I don't know what we're talking. He's a winner. His reputation is okay. He won 2 gold medals with Canada. I mean, we could have coached those teams.
Those were all-star teams.
They coach themselves, man. Like, they're generational hockey teams. You look at the names on those lists, all you got to do is like just tap a guy on the back. Sure, he'll figure it out. I just don't get the Mike Babcock is a winner reputation, and that's why we have to go after him. I mean, why not pull Scotty Bowman out of retirement, for Christ's sake? It's just like...
Isn't he like 80? Scotty Bowman's
He's probably in his 90s at this point.
His son's the GM. so.
His son is the GM, you know? It would be a family affair. It would be like the Phillies, where...
Mattingly's.
The son is the GM and father is the manager. It's just... I don't get it with Babcock. Clearly, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, they'd be on board for this. They've obviously asked them about it. But there's more stuff coming. Aaron Portzline just put something out of Columbus about more of what happened in his time as coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Just none of this makes any sense other than we are incredibly desperate. We have 1 year for sure left of Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
If he's on board with this, okay, like, let's do it and see what happens. Because we've got a ton to lose, and we'll find out if this is the guy that's going to lose it for us.
One other random name that has Stanley Cup pedigree, but not his last 2 stops were dreadful, was Dan Bylsma, who was the former Pittsburgh Penguins head coach. You mentioned the Detroit Red Wings
2009.
in 2008. He went with Sid and company and Gino in 2009. That name I saw today where I was like thinking about like who else is out there?
I saw another one.
Is it Zach?
I saw another one. I forget who put the report out. I apologize to whoever it was. But they brought up the name Daryl Sutter.
Right.
And
Who's 67, I think.
I think
62 or 67.
Sutter would only sign up for like.
Think of that.
I think Sutter would only sign up for the Torts job. Get
Yeah.
signed with 2 weeks
Closer.
left in the season.
He's just on his farm enjoying his life. But I think part of this just screams to it's the desperation, but I think some of it just screams they want somebody to yell at the players who's not them. Like what I mean by that is Connor, Leon, Zach Hyman, they go in there and they lose their minds. We all saw that behind the scenes clip of the playoff series against Florida Panthers. They went in there, they popped their tops, lost their minds, screamed at everybody up and down the walls, and then finally they're looking around and saying, we want somebody who's going to do that and it not have to be us. We need somebody to yell at these people who's not me. Mike Babcock, it's been historically reported, Mike Commodore's very outgoing about it, and he's like, who's not going to have to worry about abuse from Mike Babcock? Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. Who is the third and the fourth liners, who are probably, whether they want to admit it or not, the guys that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are more likely than not yelling at. Not to say they're bad guys, but they're probably the ones that those guys look at and say, you need to do more. That's probably a part of this here too.
I just think there's the emotional warfare that he has clearly played on his players is from a time gone by, and given the reputation, the way that guys talk around the league, I just can't imagine he's going to get 23 guys in a room to pull on the same rope for him in the way that you need to for a Stanley Cup run.
It just takes one guy to not. For that to unravel.
There's too many public transgressions. There's too many things that happened that it doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but clearly the Oilers are going down this road. And, I just, the other part, I'm not sure Babcock is even all that great of a coach. That hasn't won a playoff series since 2013. Sure, there was a time where he was one of the best coaches in the league. His reputation was built on J.S. Jaguar's Conn Smythe and a losing cause in 2003? And then, he takes over that Detroit team, which was loaded again, who had, a Mount Rushmore defenseman, Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg led that team. But just look at his Leafs tenure. Even aside from the games he played with Mitch that became public and eventually cost him his job, it was playoff series where Austin Matthews was getting less than 20 minutes a night in elimination games.
Patrick Marleau was playing more than him.
And it was just like, what are we doing here as the head coach where you're not putting out your number one center for more than 20 minutes a night? And the 36-year-old Patrick Marleau is out there playing 22. It's
hard to defend now in retrospect. I'm sure
people were crushing it in the moment too, So it's just, I'm not sure this guy is as good as his reputation seems to be still within some of the old hockey men within hockey.
When we talk about reputation, Canada doesn't have the best one when it comes to performing in the World Cup, the big tournament that is kicking off today around the world, including...
Our men's team does not have a win.
No, they don't have a win.
I think we have 2 goals.
Yeah. So I was trying to be polite about it because we obviously are rooting for them to have a much better outcome. And even with all of the injuries, it looks like they should get out of the group play, but I really don't know how to feel. Fingers crossed. But Bombito is a name I love to say, love to hear about, and there's that he is supposed to be on the roster. We spoke about the injuries, but I honestly think Davies has a better chance of playing before him.
Davies was taking laps with the first team today, so that's a good sign. I think everything's trended towards Davies can maybe play in game 3 of the group stage against Switzerland. And if they move on, then he can be a bigger factor as the tournament goes on, which could be a big X factor for Canada. But getting Moise Bombito into the tournament is, I don't know what to expect. He's a huge part of Jesse Marsh's whole setup. Everything that Canada does is reliant on having a ton of pace on their back end with Moise Bombito is one of the fastest defenders in the world, and same with Alphonso Davies, who's just maybe one of the fastest people in the world when he's right. And to play this sometimes I call it kamikaze football, the way that Canada plays, because they just have so many players forward, and we saw this in the 2 friendlies, that they can get caught going back the other way, and that could be dangerous against a team like Bosnia or even Qatar, who are going to be willing to just sit back with every player they have on the field in front of their net and just wait for you to make a mistake to allow some kind of a big counter-attacking chance going the other way. So it's good that Canada's getting fitter, but they are still not in a place where I feel super comfortable going into this turn, or as comfortable as I could feel knowing the talent that's at less than 100% going into the tournament.
Is there an official word that happens today on like the final roster spot? Like
today they've got to officially announce the replacement for Marcelo Flores, and it's already been reported that Moise Bombito is going to be on the squad. So I imagine it's just the one replacement that Canada is going to make, and I would imagine it's going to be Jaden Nelson.
I'm curious if you guys are excited. There was a couple polls that have come out in the last couple of days, and Dan, I know you are. We need to talk about the show that you're going to be hosting in less than an hour, but a poll showed around 73% of Canadians will not be paying attention to the World Cup or big tournament. I was like, who did this poll? Is it somebody that does not have the rights holders to this moment? But today when I took the streetcar...
They only interview people in Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Yes. And it's like, and I'm curious about that. Like,
they're just pissed that their CFL is getting disrupted.
Yes.
I'm throwing Alberta in there as well, but like yesterday they had a bit of like the Fan Fest opening up, and it's even this morning it was really fun to see so many people wearing different jerseys because I live near Toronto Stadium, aka BMO Field, and you can feel the excitement today definitely starting to build. And even yesterday afternoon around the Tempo game, you could see people wearing their different countries' jerseys. A lot of people confused at how to take transit. I live here. I still don't know how to take it half the time, but you can feel the excitement starting to build, and I'm really excited for Canada to have their first ever home match in a World Cup tomorrow in Toronto. But do you feel the excitement a little bit that you've been here the last couple of days? Like, is it starting to build up for you?
Yeah, I went to a cool fan fest. It was a launch party for Soccer Canada, so all the players were at this event at Harbourfront, and I know they're gonna have some watch parties down there. Shout out to Devo Brown, who'll be hosting several of them. But yeah, it's starting to build. And you mentioned the Tempo. So for people who aren't from Toronto, where the Tempo play and BMO Field is like in the same proximity. It would probably take you 2 minutes to walk from either stadium. So it's all in the downtown core. And you weren't here though. I saw this like really dope drone show at like 1 o'clock in the morning the other day. But it's beautiful. Like when they launch it for real, it's going to be all over social media. But yeah, I'm feeling that the vibes are high. And actually there was some support. There was some Bosnia. So what did I see on my phone?
Man, I saw
there's one in our office right now.
There's one.
There's one in our office.
There's some Bosnia supporters out who are. I think Bosnia was practicing at Centennial Park in Etobicoke. And there was a supporter section, and there's like a popular restaurant, a Bosnia and Herzegovina restaurant in Etobicoke that's like a pillar of the community. So it's in the same kind of area. So yeah, it's building.
I saw a report yesterday that there's going to be 30,000 Bosnian fans at the game tomorrow at Toronto Stadium.
Isn't the capacity?
I hope for Canada's sake that that's not the case. Okay, that would be an embarrassment that. The first men's World Cup match on home turf, and we are outnumbered by away fans. It's a problem that Canada Soccer has had forever. Mm-hmm. You know, whenever you're hosting somebody, even a Caribbean nation or South American nation, they come to Canada, they play, and it's like Canada fans are outnumbered 2-1 within that stadium, and it's been known to happen. But I felt with a World Cup, our own team, our own soil, that would start to change. Couple of problems here that I give fans some grace for is the pricing of tickets has been
obscene.
It's just obscene. You know, to bring a family of four to a World Cup match, and they averaged it out to like $44,000 or something like that, and it's not realistic.
Per ticket or for the whole fan?
For the whole fan.
Well, still $4,000 for
and that's on the cheap end.
Yeah,
right. That's if you're finding the cheapest seat in the house and four of them together or something like that. So it's just not realistic for a lot of people to go, and I understand that, and that's part of the reason why I think the excitement about the tournament has been tempered a little bit, because just the prices are insane. The price gouging from a non-profit organization in FIFA has just been ridiculous.
Corrupt organization.
I don't think you need to cough.
The ticket prices, and even FanFest, which was supposed to be free, is also
$100.
It's $120 to get in here in Toronto. So it's just I think all of those things have factored in to the feeling about this tournament. Once the games officially start, once that game comes to Toronto tomorrow, I think that'll change a little bit, and we are starting to feel more of that excitement. But we're going to need Canada to go on a bit of a run here to really feel more of the Canadian vibe of the tournament.
I think what also will change the vibe and experience that everyone is looking forward to is the show that you're going to be hosting today at 11:30 Eastern. Let them know all about it, Dan.
90th Minute Daily on the 90th Minute YouTube channel, part of Better Collective. It's going to be myself with Will Liu and Blake Price as my co-hosts as we preview each of the matches that are coming up that day and give you all the World Cup storylines. It won't be so much a Canada-focused show. It'll be a tournament-focused show on the 90th Minute YouTube channel, and find us all on socials as well. So I hope you'll join us for it. It'll be pretty dope.
Absolutely, not going to miss it. And it is now time for the Proline pick of the day. The new Proline app is here. Bet on soccer online and in-store. Loyalties are complicated, but your soccer bets don't have to be. Get exclusive split loyalty parlays only on Proline. Loyal to more than one country? You can back all your teams with a split loyalty parlay. Bet only on Proline.
All right, for my Proline pick of the day, we are going to be having a lot of this over the next 27 days with 27 straight days of World Cup matches. We are looking at the first match of the tournament, and it is Mexico against South Africa. Mexico hosting. It is their third time hosting the tournament, actually, and so they're not new to this hosting, and they obviously have the big advantage of being at altitude where their opponents don't necessarily have a lot of experience playing in that. They've got 17-year-old Gilberto Mora, who is going to be one of the breakout stars of the tournament. We've got the youngest player at the World Cup, Gilberto Mora, to score or assist in today's match.
Let's go, Dan. Gilberto. I'm going to stay with the World Cup as well. In the World Cup special section, there's a loyalty pick. So I'm locking in both France and Spain to make it through to the semi-final round. It's a bit of a chalky pick because these are the two highest rated teams in the entire tournament. For Spain, getting a clean bill of health for Lamine Yamal would solidify this ranking as like the number two team in the entire tournament. The current European champions haven't lost in 28 matches. That is an impossible streak to ignore. And then France won the tournament in 2018, were the finalists in 2022, gave us, I think, the greatest game in the history of professional sports. Argentina versus France, unbelievable. And these guys are just loaded, and it just depends on how much they want to score. So France and Spain to advance to the semi-final round is my Proline pick of the day.
I love this.
France likes each other enough. I don't know.
Oh, there's some infighting?
Kylian Mbappe, man. That guy is... He's got some diva tendencies, to say the least. It blew up at Real Madrid this year, and then there's like video of him not shaking N'Golo Kante's hand, and it's just like, man...
Well, winning cures a lot of things, so maybe they'll get it together.
When you're that damn good, I guess you can be that way.
Did you see him on the cover of friggin' Vanity Fair? Bro's like shirtless. I'm like, yeah, if you have it, flaunt it, bro. I mean, that's to your point about diva behavior. Like, look at this cover.
I have not seen that. I will have to research this after the show. Diva behavior is not something I've ever heard about Mason Fluharty, who unfortunately yesterday gave up a home run. But I've been saving this moment from an interview with him until Dan came back, because Flu switched his walkout song to 3 Days Grace. So now, for the record, there are two relief pitchers that have 3 Day Grace as their walkout song. That also includes Louis Varland. They saw them during spring training. They become friends with them. And he described them as divorced dad rock, which I've never heard of this term. I didn't know they were in it, so I had to follow up on this. Can't wait for your take on this, Dan.
First time I've ever heard that. Who else would be in that category? I'm here for it.
Like Pearl Jam.
Okay.
No!
We'll stop at that.
Wow.
One. Pearl Jam and Nickelback, he said.
Well, Nickelback checks out. I'm not gonna. that one definitely checks out. But Pearl Jam, you know what? It probably does too.
Yeah, it does. It checks out.
Don't ever.
I'm
get
not divorced.
Okay, don't ever get divorced.
And I'm not a dad, so I can't fit in that category. I'm the exception to the rule. Mason Fluharty's rule.
Oh God! Welcome back, Dan. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Make sure to tune into a show starting at 11:30. Go like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow on Off the Roster.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Off the Roster YouTube channel.